We are now live.
Okay.
And the chat
That's
is
scary.
easternshorebroadcasting.com/Tom S-chat. So if you want to bring up just the chat, it's on that page. easternshorebroadcasting.com. Or you can pop it out from the website. Either one work the same way.
Marvellous. Now, funnily enough, since you started going live, I'm now getting slight breakup from you. Are you hearing me okay without any breakup?
Check 1, 2. Yeah. Let's see.
Okay.
What am I sending you? I didn't even look at that. I'm sending you.
Is this
Yeah.
Tom's chat or
I'm
my
sending you 360. At
That's
500K.
fine, yeah. The lower the better, probably.
Okay. All right. Well, I can send you
I'm
240.
sending you... Yeah, that'll be fine. I don't need much.
Okay.
As long as I can hear you, that's the big one, isn't it?
Right.
Right, I'm okay.
That's what my
I'm
wife
into your
says.
Chat. I suppose I ought to log into your chat, really.
Log into the chat.
There we
Who's here? Let's see. Joni is here. He's been here for a while. Kyle's here. Rudy's here. Elmar is here. Dave's here. And Daniel's here. All right.
Greetings, guys. The only trouble with logging into your chat is...
Yeah.
Yes, I did read your email. I did read your email, Elmar, and I replied to you about 4 times.
Uh-oh.
So I don't know what happened there.
Brexit
Anyway,
strikes
Let
again.
me see if I can... Well, yeah, I think it is something along those lines. So what do I have to do here to get this to refresh? Right, let's try that. Ah, there we go. I'm logged in now. It doesn't... When you log in, it doesn't refresh the page automatically. Anyway, right, I have a large display of the chat. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Elmar. I really am very sorry that you didn't get anything back from me. I have sent you 4 emails to the address that you sent me. Let's try and hook up. I don't know why you haven't had those. Can I see my own comments now? Because you changed the colours before.
Yeah, I don't know what I've done. Gee whiz. Okay,
No, I
let's see.
still
Doesn't
can't
look
see
like
mine.
we're-
Well,
doesn't
I
look
know
like
my
we're
comments are
live
still
on Facebook.
white on a white background.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Something is
So
amiss here.
There's special magic ink in my comments, but if you do Control A, you can read them.
Here we go. All right, well, let's just do a manual start then. Oh, I see. It wasn't supposed to start for another 10 minutes. Well, no wonder. Okay. Boy, a brain is a terrible thing to waste. All right, let's go back here. So, Giles, let's talk about today's show. We're gonna talk about Streamfest. And do you have the schedule handy? And
Yeah, I do. If I
is it
flick
at
around here.
streamfest.com?
Well, I have the official
.org.
spreadsheet, which Rudy has kept it up to date. Rudy's been doing our website. I'd
Rudy's
like to send
amazing.
a big shout out to Rudy. Rudy is an amazing guy.
Rudy's amazing.
He's been keeping the website schedule up to date. Every time I change the spreadsheet, he runs through it and has a look to see if there's anything different, and he's been updating it, and he's doing an absolutely superb job. Thank you, Rudy. So yes, I have got it handy.
All right. All right. Very good. So let's see who else. Kyle the Plunderer. Kyle has won more prizes than I think anybody I've ever heard of. Dan's here. Nick is here. Hassan is here. And Giles is here, of course. And Giles, we've got white on white, so you have to paint his stuff in order to see it. We'll have to get him changed. The background, yeah, I'm experimenting. You know me, kind of always trying to do something different. So I'm experimenting with this brick wall. It came in a small box from China, actually from the U.S., but I think it was actually printed in China. And it's just a, see if I can get back and tap it. Yeah, you can see it move. It's just a hanging. It's 10 feet by 10 feet. Includes this nice flooring. So it has kind of a rustic look. And so we're just playing around with it more than anything else. Playing around, actually, truth be told, I'm getting ready for the grand opening of the studio here. So it's a work in progress. So I thought we'd try it out today live. Yeah, it's pretty authentic looking.
Big party at Tom's place.
Yeah, we'll have a grand opening. It'll probably be in the fall. Dan says the colors on the wall look good for me. Yeah, grays and whites. Yeah, that's right. Oh, and Dan, I've got some more feedback for you on the XK68. We've been playing with the XK68 joystick. You can see we've got one button programmed. No, I'm teasing. It's more than that. But that's the camera button. But we haven't gotten them labeled yet. And the XK68 joystick now has an NDI app. So you can control your NDI cameras with that, and you can actually control currently up to 4, maybe even more at some point in the future with the joystick, as well as all sorts of other features of it. Dan did a great video on that, and he and Miranda did a Friday 5-minute show, I think 3 weeks ago on that. So if you're into that, you can just search on YouTube XK-68 and probably pull up both of those. But we'll be doing something on that in the pretty near future. Pretty neat if you've got a bunch of X keys and you want to be able to control them. But Dan, to complete my sentence, I do have some more feedback and some suggestions. I don't know if they're doable or not, but we'll see. We will see. Is that me beeping, Giles, or you?
I think you're picking that up from my headphones. If you're hearing that, it's the
every
the
now
chat
and then it's
room.
just
I've
a
got
little
the beeps on
blink.
to remind me.
Oh,
Bling,
okay.
that's right.
Okay. Right.
The microphone must be picking it up from my headphones, I think.
Okay. Dan says that to watch Streamfest live. Dan, what time are you on? Yeah, I hear myself in a little echo.
Right through.
Yeah.
Oh, you
All
must be
right.
getting that from my headphones.
Probably.
Hang on, maybe I can just turn
Probably.
my
It was funny.
a bit and just talk a bit louder.
I was doing some troubleshooting with somebody one day, and they were having echoes. Tom, I've got echoes. I don't know where my echoes are. I'm wearing a headset. I've got my own mic turned off, muted, and all this kind of stuff. And finally, it dawned on me that they had the kind of headset with the little boom mic on it, and what they were doing is their boom mic was picking up their ears. They didn't have the kind that was closed. They had the over the ear type, and so it was just that much distance was giving just a little bit of echo on their audio. It was really kind of funny. So you never know. Hey Otis, glad to see you, glad to have you, glad you're with us. Peter's here. Hey Peter, introduce yourself to the group.
Let me just get my levels sorted out here. Oh, that's not bad, is it? That's probably about right. Hopefully you'll hear a bit less because I've turned the gain down and brought the mic closer.
Yeah, I try to keep you and me at about 12. Let's see, what are we doing today? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
I'm running just under the yellow line. I'm sort of in the top green bit.
Yeah, and I've got you turned down here.
That's right.
So I love it when people know how to use their audio. I hate it when they've got it turned all the way up and distorted. I was working with somebody yesterday who just was like, man, I'm turning this thing up all the way, but it just gets worse and worse. It's like hitting yourself with a hammer. Stop hitting yourself with the hammer. Crank it to 11.
Mine's up to
That's
13
right.
already, Dan.
Oh my goodness. Audio is a mystery, man. Audio is a mystery. Gee whiz. And every
It's
time you
hard.
think you have
It's
it.
hard.
And it wouldn't be so bad if you didn't have a microphone that plugged in to a mixer that attaches to a PC with a Windows audio device that goes into vMix as an audio device. And any one of those things can do something that you don't anticipate. And heaven forbid you have some other kind of helper software on your system to work with your audio. Oh my gosh. And you can't see it, so you don't know what's happening to it.
That's the biggest problem. Unless you've got an oscilloscope or something, yeah, you certainly can't see it. And actually, that's probably a really good tool, an oscilloscope.
Oscilloscope.
Don't worry about it. I used to have an oscilloscope plumbed in so I could see what's going on, because I mean you just get the little waveform real time on the screen, and you can see background noise and things that you can't hear, and you know therefore there's some background noise, and it's a really useful tool. But are you going to cart one around with you? Probably not. No.
I wouldn't know what to look for even if I had it. I'm not an audio guy, but I'm not a video guy either.
Neither am I, Tom. We're all learning on the job here, aren't we? You know.
Yes.
We learn all the time, and it changes all the time as well, doesn't it? It's nothing stays the same. So you can learn something, and then that's a good way of describing it.
Yeah. So what are you sending me in terms of audio and video today? Let's see. You're sending me 720?
720p.
Wow.
800, yeah.
Yep, 720p 800.
I'm on
25 frames because he's coming across the bay.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
And we've got a 170 millisecond latency on the video and about a 200 millisecond latency on the audio. So there might be a little sync difference. No, 25 milliseconds is well, it's a frame where you are. 25 frames a second is not 25 milliseconds, so it's less than a frame. Okay.
That's an interesting discussion, really, that really on the internet probably everything should be 30 or 60 frames a second, really. And I've got one camera where I can actually choose whether I have 30 or 25 frames a second. But most consumer cameras are fixed to the frequency of your particular country.
Right.
And I do think it's about time that they started giving you the option, because the hardware's all there. You should be able to switch between 30 or 25.
Right.
Because if you're broadcasting on the internet, everything's 60, isn't it? 60 or 30.
Well, and I remember, it doesn't have anything to do with the PAL frame rate, but I remember doing some photography at a soccer stadium. And I was using a Canon camera that shot, 16 frames a second or something like that. 8 frames a second. That's what it was, 8 frames a second. And the coloration in each frame was different. And then finally a professional photographer explained it to me, is that, it's the light cycles. And I'm picking up the lights in between cycles when it's a dark image, and I'm picking up the light right at the peak of the cycle when it's a well-lit image. And so it was a real eye-opener for me, and that's what helped me understand the difference between the PAL frame rate and the NTSC frame rate. Is it has to do with lighting. It's all about lighting, and you're cycling at 25 hertz or 50 hertz, and I'm cycling at 60 hertz.
Yeah, our mains frequency is 50 hertz in the UK, 240 volts. And you're right, absolutely. That's probably one of the main reasons why the TV frequency is what it is. Back in the day when it was all analog 405 line television, you would have got noise bars, I guess, from the differential mains frequency and the frame rate if we'd been 30 frames a second or whatever. But started off, of course, at 12 frames a second with the Baird system. Mechanical television, 30 lines with a big scanning disc. I don't know if you've seen that, but on our website there's a picture of the original Baird televisor with a 30-line scanning system. And I think that was 12 frames a second.
It was amazing technology. Amazing technology. All right, shout out for GB. He's here. Welcome. Rick's here. Glad to have you. John's here. Kent has come out of the weeds. Welcome back, sir. Dean's here. Dean's from down in Central Florida, where it's probably a beautiful day today. That's why Disney picked that spot. Todd's here. All right, glad to have you guys. And by the way, if you're watching and wondering, who in the world is Tom talking about? You need to come over to easternshorebroadcasting.com and get in on the show that includes the chat room, because that's all these folks are. So if you're watching on Twitter or Facebook or on YouTube directly, you're missing out on the chat. And they're really cool folks there on chat. And we're having a little discussion in the chat room about the difference between PAL and NTSC. People are taking sides, kind of like an Apple Windows debate, where there is no clear-cut winner. But there are a lot of losers.
NTSC.
Yes.
NTSC, never twice the same color. I love that one. Yes, that's yeah. You had to have a tint control, didn't you, on NTSC, so that when people's faces look green, you could make them look the right color. But on PAL, because it was an alternate phase system, you didn't have to have that. Each line of the video would kind of balance it out so that there wouldn't be a color issue. So yeah, Beta versus VHS as well. That's another good one. Beta was a better system technically, wasn't it? But VHS.
But technically doesn't win the day. Technically just doesn't win the day.
Absolutely.
Don't get it. So the point of that little story is to say you've got to go to easternshorebroadcasting.com, click the Watch Live tab, and go to our Watch Live page, where you can get this same exact feed. You're going to get Giles over there and me right here, and it'll be all the same, except right below that on the page you'll have the chat, and you can pop out the chat, or you can pop out the video, or you can pop out both of them. Or if you're really hardcore, you can pop it out and put the video full screen on one monitor and the chat full screen on another monitor. Or, this is my favorite, you can take the full screen video and you can put it up on your TV, mounted on the wall, and then on your iPad you can have the chat. So just letting you know, there's just lots of different possibilities for going whole hog with this Streaming Idiot stuff. Giles, we were supposed to start 3.5 minutes ago. We're late again. Gee whiz.
We better start. But I just say before we do, I've put your chat on my big screen because I can't read small writing. I have to have big writing.
The video's not important. It's the chat you're interested in. That's right. Oh, golly. That's so funny. All right, let's see. Okay, good. All right, so Giles, you've got yourself muted for a second, so I'm not going to mute you. I'm going to go to the to get the show started thing, and then we'll get the recording going. I'll do a little brief monologue, and then I will bring you in, and we will talk about Streamfest. So you've got the Streamfest schedule ready, and Maria's here, and Martin is here. Oh my goodness. Well, we can start now. Let's see who else just slipped in. Martin K slipped in, as opposed to Martin S. And Frederick is here. Welcome. Glad to have you. Let's see who else has joined us in the chat. Where's Jan? We've got Marie, but where's Jan? He's probably working. All right. All right. So y'all behave in the chat. We don't have to turn Giles loose on you in there to make you, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here's the special guest. You want to see the special guest picture? Yes. Here's the special guest picture. We found this in the archives. And Giles said that was him at 22. Amazing resemblance, isn't there? Just the guy just doesn't age at all. He just doesn't age at all. Okay. All right, so let's get this show on the road. Hopefully, I've got two X keys plugged in today. I've got the X keys XK80, which is my regular setup, which is this guy right here. And you can see it's all sorts of buttons and all sorts of colors that mean nothing to anybody else except me. And then we've plugged in the XK68, which is the joystick version. And Dan has assured me that they will run they will run simultaneously. Uh-oh, looks like we've lost one of our streams over here. So let's see, stream to URL key are valid. Check. Okay, let's see. So did we lose our second stream? We did. Okay, hold on a second. Let's get our second stream back. Giles, sorry about this.
Not a problem, Tom. These things happen.
Yeah, fortunately they have big red buttons and they say, oh, you're not working, you're not working. Streaming Idiots, that's this show. Live video, that's what we want.
Out of interest, which one is it that's gone?
Facebook. So let's see, what is the key change? Nope, same key. Interesting. It just doesn't like it. All right, well let's try that, and we'll start it back up again and see if it gets there. I don't see it. Oh, there it comes. All right. There it comes. So we'll save and close. We'll go live. And we'll minimize. Hopefully that did it. Hopefully that did it. Yeah, Dan says this one's not his fault. Well, it's Tom's fault. There's no doubt about that one. Okay. All right, so we got Facebook back up and running. We got YouTube running. We're 7.5 minutes past due. Giles is here. We're going to have fun. So you guys sit tight, and we'll be right back. Well, hello and welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair. This is Streaming Idiots. Yes, it is. Somebody was asking me today, why in the world did you name your show Streaming Idiots? Well, it just jumped all over me. I couldn't help it. But the idea is, that if you're getting into Streaming Idiots, you're not far into the journey before you do something that makes you feel like an idiot. So my thought was, well, everybody has that feeling. Let's take that feeling of feeling like an idiot and bring all the idiots together in one place. Yeah, bring all the idiots together in one place, and then we can all learn together. So this is a welcome, and say, please, if you think about it, if you're a Facebook person, join our Streaming Idiots Facebook group if you like streaming and you want to join in with, I don't know, a couple thousand other folks all over the world who are sharing ideas about streaming, sharing ideas about equipment and workflow, and just, is this going to work, or what do you think of this? It's a great community, and you're very welcome to join. If you just go to Facebook and search out Streaming Idiots, you'll find the group. You do have to give us some information. You have to tell us if you're streaming or not and what you stream. If you are streaming, and give us your email address. And if you don't give us that information, we won't let you in. We're not there to be spammed by folks that want to sell us insurance. So there you go. So the other thing is you can go to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube page. And that way you'll get notifications either from Facebook or from YouTube when we go live. And we try to keep folks up on that. So enough of that nonsense. I've got a really interesting guest today. We're going to get to him in just a second. Giles Warm from, what will we say he's from? Step Back in Time TV, World of Live Streaming, Streamfest. The guy's just all over the internet and has got a really cool thing happening this weekend that we want to tell you about it. But first, you may have noticed the brick wall that we had installed over the weekend. My wife and I were up here the other night, and just, laying brick is it really is hard. So we cheated. This is just a backdrop. But isn't it a cool backdrop? I mean, wow. I really like it. And so we were playing with this in preparation for opening the live streaming studio here to the community at some point, probably late summer, although we're almost in late summer, aren't we? So I guess it's going to be early fall. And we wanted to have something that could set up as a set where we wouldn't have to worry about the lighting of a green screen if we had 3 or 4 people on the set. You know how when people move around, they can create shadows. And so we thought, well, let's just let's take the easy way out. And we picked out this brick wall because it was a very interesting backdrop and had some visual interest. Yeah, visual interest. The other thing that I would want to make mention of is that, let's go ahead and get I'm getting ahead of myself. Remember, this whole show is an infomercial. It's an infomercial for my company, Eastern Shore Broadcasting. Mostly info, but every now and then it has commercial. So we're going to get to the commercial part. Let's get that out of the way right now. And I haven't done this, so let's see if it works live. No, it doesn't work. What you were supposed to see is a bunch of dancing, or not dancing, but promenading equipment behind me that tells you that I represent companies like vMix, of course, where vMix is #1 reseller here in the U.S. Magewell, the folks that make those cool capture cards and the little dongles that plug in USB 3. We represent PTZ Optics, the camera folks, and their wonderful NDI cameras. In fact, this is a PT12X NDI version, although I think this one today, right this minute, is coming over SDI. But we've been playing with it with our new XK68 X keys that has, you notice it has a little joystick on it. I don't want to touch it because I don't want to mess up this shot because it is live. And you can see I've got one button programmed. Really, I actually have more than one. I just haven't labeled them yet. Anyway, so we represent X Keys, and we represent Yuan, another great capture card company, and we represent. Oh golly, I'm going to leave somebody out, and they're going to be mad. And I'm looking around the room to see what might it be. Oh geez. Well, if I left you out, I'm sorry. It's generally I have the promenade behind me that tells you. But if you want to deal with somebody that's not just an internet source for a product, if you want to deal with somebody that has some knowledge of the product and has used it, tested it, plays with it, uses it, knows what's going on with it, that's what we can offer. Plus, of course, our prices are the same as B&H or Amazon, and we offer free shipping on the products that have to be shipped. So there's no disadvantage to going with us. The big advantage is you get to deal with folks that know what they're talking about. Try calling Amazon to help you with your Magewell dongle when it doesn't do what you expect. Yeah, that's not going to work. Anyway, so we're here for that. So we're gonna what are we gonna do next? Why don't we? I know what we'll do. We'll bring in our guest. We'll bring in our guest who has been waiting so very patiently in the green room. We have the green room. Now, before I bring him in, while I have the stage all to myself, oh, never mind. I'll bring him in. Giles, welcome to the show. Giles Warm from Step Back in Time TV, from World of Live Streaming, and from Streamfest. Glad to have you on the show today, sir.
Thank you, Tom. It's an absolute honor to be here.
Oh, you're always so sweet. You're always so sweet. Now Giles is coming in to us on vMix Call from England across the pond, and he's sending me a 720 feed. I think he looks pretty darn good. Now, I'm cheating, and I'm sending him back a 240p feed. You say, Tom, what's 720, what's 240? Well, just go to Google and look up video resolutions, and it'll explain to you how those work. But nevertheless, Giles is sending me a very high quality feed. I'm sending him back not much quality at all. 240 is like, looks good on your phone maybe. And the idea is that I'm conserving a little bit of upstream bandwidth, and he's able to conserve a little bit of downstream bandwidth because he's in a particular area that's even more bandwidth challenged than I am. And if you've done live streaming for any period of time, you know bandwidth is the deal. But this coming weekend is the Streamfest live event, practically a 24-hour live stream that circles the globe. Giles, give us the elevator speech on what Streamfest is going to be about.
Thank you, Tom. Well, Streamfest is about anything to do with live streaming. So anything connected with it at all is a celebration of the use of the technology, and the technology itself, how people are using it. So, for example, our main sponsor, Dan Slider from X-Keys, will be doing demonstrations about how you can use X-Keys, as you showed earlier, to control your production. Yourself, your good self, you will be on talking to us about live streaming technology. We're also going to show how live streaming technology can be used to engage with people, and not necessarily to actually live stream even, but it's just real-time production technology where you can actually try and well, the one example we have is there's a place called Madewell near here, and they look after people with learning difficulties and mental health problems and things like that. And we've done a little bit of work with them, Martin and I, particularly Martin, to just try and experiment with using video technology to try and actually see if we can garner some excitement and some interest, and it actually works. And so even that kind of thing, to that sort of level, that's what we will be showing. And I think amongst all the products and things and all the production type of issues that you can talk about, all of that kind of thing, we will be looking into, including the future of live streaming.
Well, that's pretty cool, Giles. So you've got all these folks. Some are what we would call kids. Some might be young adults that are put into an environment where suddenly, they don't have to do what they normally do. They can play with all these cool toys. Yeah, I know I was talking to Martin about that the other day, and he was just really psyched about it, and was able to see folks that really kind of blossomed in that situation. So that's really cool. Now, I know that Streaming Idiots is going to do. We're going to close out the show at 2 a.m. English time, and which will be, I think, 9 o'clock. It's either 9 o'clock Eastern or 9 o'clock Central. I'm not sure. But tell me the names of. And we got Dan Slider with X-Keys. He's doing a regular daytime type gig. But you're on. You've got a portion of the show, right? Are you doing a stream, or is World of Live Streaming got a gig portion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to do a World of Live Streaming show. We've got input from PI Engineering throughout the afternoon. Excuse me, looking to one side. I'm just looking at the schedule on my spreadsheet here. We've got Gavin Gratian from Manchester Video coming on, talking about restreaming.
Ooh. What time is that?
Cliff Sobel. Oh, that's at 12:15 our time, 7:15 your time. So it's fairly early in the morning.
7:15 a.m.
For your time, yeah.
I may have to watch the replay on that one.
Well, that's the thing. You can go back and watch it all later. You don't have to see it live. But if you come along and watch it live, you can ask questions of the people who are giving the talks, and that's the important bit. What we're going to do is set up a Zoom room so that, like if you went to a convention, you'd be there in front of the person giving the presentation. So what we want to try and do is to recreate that in a kind of virtual way. So you can join in on our Zoom conversation and ask the speaker questions just as if you were actually there.
No way.
It's yeah, well, it's an interesting way of doing it, I think, and it means it's free and it's open to everybody. The trouble with conventions are brilliant because let's be honest, you go along to a convention and you meet all sorts of people and you make all sorts of new contacts and you talk to people about stuff that you can't quite do in this situation, but at least we can recreate that sort of audience situation where you can, as I say, talk to the presenters and ask questions and so on. And we're going to do some of our panel discussions that way as well. I'm hoping it's going to have that feel of a sort of proper conference to it. We did it last year, and it sort of worked, and we're trying to grow on what we did last time.
That's outstanding. So essentially, if I understand this right, you could get your entire live streaming education in one day.
Well, yeah, potentially you could, given the right talks, and yeah. Well, you're on at the end, so that's when everybody's going to get that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, by the time poor Giles, he's got to stay up until the time this thing is over to take down all the equipment. So it's going to be 3 o'clock in the morning before he gets to bed. Oh my goodness! But he's getting the big bucks, so it's okay. That's he's getting the big paycheck out of this one. Yeah, right. That's right. So tell me some of the other folks that I might know of that are participating. Is Martin doing something?
Well, yeah, Martin is. Early on in the day when we first get going, Martin is actually going to go to Madewell, who I was just talking about, and actually try and do a live broadcast from there. And so hopefully you'll get to meet some of the folks who've enjoyed playing with some of the toys that we like playing with. And we're going to try and talk to some of the staff down there as well, and just talk to them about how they felt about the way this technology engages with people. We're also going to do a first thing in the morning, a bit of a studio tour, just to show you how we set things up.
Right.
And then we should be moving on. Now, Cliff Sobel, you know, don't you? You had him on your show talking about streaming the largest Gothic cathedral in the world. Now, he's going to come and talk to us a bit more about that, which will be interesting. Now, that's at a time of day that you could probably watch, because that's sort of 9 a.m. your time and 2 o'clock our time. We've got Dan Slider talking about the NDI PTZ controller. And Martin Kay. Now, you know Martin Kay is a good friend of yours. He's actually coming down to Devon tomorrow, I think, and we shall be meeting up with him. I'll probably go and meet up with him tomorrow, and he will be part of the production team here in the UK. So we'll get to see a bit of Martin. And Martin's very well known, I think, for his NDI software. Particularly the NDI No Audio Meter and several other tools. The NDI No Audio Meter is one that I particularly like because it's so easy to not have any audio. I'm not going to mention anybody else, but
yeah, I've been the inspiration for so many great ideas. Yep, what can I say? But you got to look out for Martin, though, Giles, because Martin is a talker. He will just talk your ears off. You won't get a word in edgewise.
Martin's a good guy.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a very good
I had
bloke.
the pleasure of meeting him at NAB this past spring, and we had a meal together, and it was just such a treat. Such a treat. Yep. It was really cool. So you're a lucky guy to get to hang out with Martin, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. All right, so who else is going to be involved? I mean, this is a star-studded event.
Kenny Hampton, we've got a pre-recorded piece of footage. Yes, the Kenny Hampton, the famous Kenny Hampton. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
A couple of years ago, we played out a bit of footage on the World of Live Streaming that he did for us, and we thought that deserved a second airing, so we're going to air that again.
What time is that?
Rudy, that's at 10 o'clock your time and 3 o'clock our time.
Okay. Thanks
10
to
o'clock
Dan.
Eastern.
Dan gave me the URL, so there's the URL, streamfestlive.com. You can go and that's got the whole schedule at it, right? Right, Giles?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Most of it's on there, yeah.
And then you were saying Rudy is doing something. I got to see what Rudy's doing. What time is Rudy?
Rudy is on at 3:30 UK time, 10:30 Eastern, and he's doing a special episode of the School of Live Streaming. If you've not been to the schooloflivestreaming.com, worth a look, particularly if you are just getting into live streaming. He's done some fantastic episodes about in very ordered fashion about how to actually get going on live streaming, and they're well worth a look. A little later on, 4:45 our time, 11:45 your time. Sorry, Eastern time. I shouldn't say your time because you're Central time, aren't you? But
that's okay.
Eastern time, 11:45. World of Live Streaming. So we're doing an early World of Live Streaming special. And then after that, we'll be joined by the Pacific time zone people, and that's Dave Edwards, who will take over from us at about 6:45 our time, which is 2:45 Eastern. And so we're going to do a handover, so that we'll do the first half of the live stream. And you may have seen the demonstrations we've done on the World of Live Streaming, and the idea is that we will do a few hours and then we'll hand it over, hopefully fairly seamlessly, to Dave in California, and he's going to carry on. I can see you're looking puzzled.
No, I want to see the logistics of. I mean, so you're going to stop your stream, and Dave in California is going to start a new stream to the same destination, and it's going to be a seamless blending. I love it. I love it.
Well, as seamless as possible. In our tests, because we were running different frame rates and different resolutions, it didn't quite work out. And we've been toying with running the whole thing at 30 frames a second, 1080p, but I'm not sure. I want to do some more tests, but for people on Amazon Fire Sticks, the change of resolution caused a problem. They had to do a refresh and start again. But on people who are just watching on a PC on YouTube, it was pretty seamless. And in fact, if you watch the recording of that particular show, it is completely seamless. You wouldn't know.
Wow.
You can't even tell the difference between the frame rate and the. So YouTube did a really superb job at that. Basically, YouTube has two ingestion servers. You can send your mainstream to the server that presumably you're using now, but there is a backup one as well, and the backup one will automatically fail over. So what we can do is ask Dave to start streaming just before we stop streaming, and when we stop streaming, it will just automatically fail over back onto his stream again.
No way.
Which is pretty cool stuff.
Yes. Yes. Oh wow. Wow. Oh golly, I want to see a show just on that. So now you did a World of Live Streaming episode on this, or you just did some testing on it?
Yeah, we've done it a couple of times in different ways. The first time we did it, we didn't know there was a backup ingestion server. So what we did was I did a countdown 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and press stop, and Jon in Sweden took over, and just there was a very tiny gap, and it all came back again, and then that was it. But the test we did a couple of weeks ago on the World of Live Streaming show, we found that if we got Dave streaming to the backup server first, and then I cut my stream, for all intents and purposes, there was no real problem. So some people may have to refresh, depends what device you're watching on, but if you're just watching on the web, it just hands over.
That is so cool. So you could, and Kyle is mentioning something similar to this in chat, so you could start out with the mainstream, and then somebody would start a backup stream. You could cut the mainstream, then you could, and so the backup stream would become the stream that everybody saw. It's still in the backup position so far as YouTube is concerned. You could restart the mainstream. Would that take over automatically, or if you cut the backup stream, would the mainstream then kick back in?
That's right. What happens is when you're running the mainstream, it will fall over to the backup stream. But if you restart the mainstream again, it doesn't automatically come back. You have to stop the backup stream.
You have
first.
To stop the backup. Okay.
And what we learned from Streamfest in the first year was that we had a backup stream running in Sweden from Jon for the whole of the event. I was in control of it through a web interface. I could control Jon's vMix in Sweden from here in the UK. So we could turn the streams on and off. And we started with it on all the time. But the moment you drop a single frame YouTube will fall over onto the backup or fail over onto the backup.
Really?
And that means that people aren't seeing really quite what you intend them to see necessarily. So what we're going to do is to leave the backup stream switched off unless I disappear off the air, and then we'll start another stream up from somewhere else, saying there's technical problems if we have to.
Oh, man, I'm fascinated by that. I mean, what a cool thing to discover, and what a great way to be able to pass the stream from one geographical location to the next, literally all the way around the world. So you pick all the folks that have the good internet, and you pass it off to them. I'm loving it. Oh, that is so cool. So if you can, in a very short bit of time, how am I going to connect to this thing? Do I have to call up Dave? Say, Dave, put me on.
That's one way. If you go to streamfestlive.com, today we have put up Rudy, to be precise, has put up an extra link on the website. I believe it's help. I need to go to streamfestlive.com and have a look, but there's a help link at the top of the page, and if you click on that, I've created a little presentation which is information for speakers and for people who are taking part, and basically it walks you through what you need to know to connect to the conference as we get it going. And it also tells you what you need to know if you want to be a participant, if you want to be an attendee, part of the sort of virtual audience. All the information's there, and it tells you exactly how to connect and when to connect.
What an awesome presentation. I have been kind of in the shadows on this one, watching you guys a little bit, and happy to be involved, but just it is so cool, the technology that you guys have melded together to make this work. Hat tip to all of you. Sounds like Rudy gets a big time hat tip. Yes, fingers crossed. It may crash and burn. But I mean, you've tested all this stuff, and you know that it should work. The question is,
YouTube's pretty reliable, but I will say on Monday when we came to do the show that you were on World of Live Streaming, during the afternoon I went to set up the live stream, and the YouTube Live page where you actually put your settings in, it just came up. It wasn't 404 error, but it just said we can't give you this page at the moment, try again later.
Oh my.
And that's the first time I've ever seen that. I mean, YouTube is amazing, really, isn't it? Considering it's free, and
yes,
the stability of it is incredible. But yeah, you can guarantee the one time you really want it, there might be some obstacle in your way. It might not be YouTube's fault. It could be some other problem on the internet. So we have got some backup plans as well. So if you can't find us, go to streamfestlive.com, because on the homepage there is the embedded video of the CDN, if you like, that we're using. And I'm very pleased to have a backup stream from Michael Wilson. We have a backup CDN. Dave's got a backup CDN as well. So there are 3 possible places we can broadcast Streamfest Live to, and I'm hoping, even if we can't get it out on YouTube, hopefully we'll get it out some other way. So if you can't find us, go to streamfestlive.com, keep refreshing the homepage, we'll be there. Or go to stepbackintime.tv and get into the Zoom chat room, and you'll hopefully be able to see us there, unless Zoom is down, of course. We have to allow for all these things.
Oh my goodness. Well, they made a movie here in the U.S. about Rudy. You need to look that one up sometime. Rudy, did you know they made a movie about you here in the U.S.? Yeah, it's an American football movie. So we've got this is this coming Saturday, the 4th, and the very first episode starts at what time? Like 4 in the morning in the U.S. or something.
Yeah, I need to go back to I was just looking back at the chat room there. If you could put me up full screen, Tom, you will see quite a bit of information. And we start 10
Oh yeah,
a.m.
there's Giles full screen. How about that? That's a little better.
Good, Tom. Well done. That's live streaming for you.
That's right.
So we start at 10 a.m. UK time, which is 5 a.m. Eastern time. I guess that's about 4 a.m. your time, isn't it? 2 a.m. Pacific, 2100, 9 p.m. New Zealand time, and 7 p.m. Australian Gold Coast time. So, hopefully we can catch some of the people on the opposite side of the world. And I would just like to thank, while I've got my full screen up here, thank you to X Keys, Manchester Video, Eastern Shore Broadcasting, the School of Live Streaming, Friday Night Network, which is, of course, Jim Jacobs. And we also have several what do you call them, benefactors, and I'll just go to streamfestlive.com because I would just like to thank them too for supporting us, and that is Amnon Nissan of Nissan Communications, Chris Morton of Video Hub in New Zealand, Mike Benke, who you may know from Panimation, Elmo Lamb of Vinus, and Michael Wilson from Mid-South Broadcasting, who's also providing backup stream. And we just really like to thank you guys for supporting this event. Without it, without your help, we can't put it on, and that it's really great that there is enough interest in doing this. And I think the one thing that's really great about doing this is it just brings everybody together from all over the world. There's that spirit of camaraderie, the live streaming camaraderie, etc. And I'm really looking forward to it, and I know it's going to be great. We've got some really great speakers, and if you've not had a look at the schedule, please go to streamfestlive.com and have a look at the schedule page. There's lots of great stuff going on.
Well, there you go. There you go. That's. I am so excited. I might just have to get up early just to watch, and to be part of and to participate as an attendee. I think that's going to be so cool. Is that anybody that wants to, anywhere in the world, can go to streamfestlive.com right down there, and go to the help page and find out how they can be a part, and go in and ask questions and make comments and just generally annoy the guests. I mean, the hosts. I think that's wonderful. Don't do it for my portion. And for the Aussies and the New Zealanders, they get to go to bed on Saturday night watching this show, and they get to wake up Sunday morning and it's still on. I mean, how cool is that? So, okay.
It's very difficult to fit everybody in.
Yeah, well, that's right. And here's the challenge. The challenge for next year, of course, for 2019, is to do 24 hours.
It would be great. It would be great to do that.
That's going to take a number of
very
pass-offs.
inclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we could do it in 4 or 5 handoffs around the world. So yeah, if you would like to do a third Streamfest Live, please do talk to me, because I don't have to organise it all. If there's somebody out there who wants to organise part or all of it, please do talk to me. I just think it's something that should be done. I think this technology it's not really new anymore, but it's still in its early days, and I think we've got a long way to go, and I do feel that doing this kind of thing and getting everybody talking to each other and sharing ideas and thoughts is a really good thing.
I couldn't agree with you more. And the thing that gets me every day, Giles, is yes, this is not a new technology. Yes, it's still in the early adopter. I think it's still in the early adopter phase, the bell curve of adopters. And we might be going up the curve a little bit. But for so many people, I have people call me every week. And it's like, I just found out about this. And I'm like, you've been living under a rock? What do they mean? But they've been watching, they've been watching YouTube, they've been watching Facebook, but the whole idea that they can produce a live stream for their church or for their school or for themselves has just all of a sudden that light bulb has gone on. And it's like, wow, this is great. Where do I start? Do I have to spend $50,000 on a TriCaster, or are they some other options? I mean, are the two options a TriCaster or my phone? There's got to be something in between. And so it's an amazing time, and I think so many folks are going to get an opportunity to see the whole world of live streaming in StreamFest this weekend, and I just commend you guys about it, of course, and thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Well, it is my fault, but that's okay. All right, we're going to transition. Yeah, we're going to transition to post-show. If you'd like to hang around, and Giles and I will take your questions and comments and criticisms, and of course, any praise that you want to pass our way. We'll do that in the post-show. Thank you very much for tuning in today to another exciting edition of Streaming Idiots. And I hope you've enjoyed the new backdrop, but hope you will tune in this weekend for StreamFest Live. More information at streamfestlive.com. And you can get all the details of who's on what show and how you can get involved for this year. And maybe it might pique your interest for next year. So, there's one thing. It's going to be interesting. The closing of this show. I wonder if it's going to work right with this new backdrop. Well, we'll just find out. We'll find out. By the way, subscribe to us on YouTube and join our Facebook group, Streaming Idiots. You'll really like it. And if you're looking for a vMix license, we sell those. We're happy to help. So let's see if I can do this. I'm going to hit the button. Let's see what happens. Ready? On 3. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3. It worked! How about that? Many thanks to Martin K. It's all his fault, really. That's right. And we're done. And, that's the post show, but that's not the post show I wanted. How about this post show? There he is. There he is. Well done, sir. Thank you so much. Man, I am like triple excited compared to where I was an hour ago for this weekend. I just can't wait.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to you and your audience about it. It's really great to be on your show.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. All right. So we got some questions in chat. Apparently there's an email issue between you and Elmar, so y'all need to square that up, whatever it may be. Martin says, Giles, just send him the email. Dave is commenting on your wardrobe, that apparently you're cutting edge again. It must be a British cutting edge. Well, although here in Alabama, that's cutting edge too.
Well, it's good to sort of revive these old fashions, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yes, Kirk, you've arrived just in time for the post show, and we're talking about this weekend, and we're talking about the StreamFest Live, which is coming up. Oops, that's the wrong one. Let's see, where's that one? There it is. Coming up this weekend, so you can get more info. And let's see. Looking back through it says, Kenny says, notice the color coordination. Our goal, your satisfaction. Notice the color coordination from Giles' outfit and the cover of his mic windscreen. Wow, I am impressed.
Attention to detail.
Attention to detail. That's right. Giles has been all over the internet to find that color. That's right.
It took me ages. Weeks, in fact, to find just that color.
Amnon says, I guess if Tom stands up and turns around and walks, he'll hit a brick wall. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. This is it's a backdrop that we're just playing around with, just trying to experiment with. It's just a piece of fabric. Let me give you the full screen view here, and I can roll back to it, and you can see as I touch it and move it, you can see the waves in it. But it really is realistic, and I did spend a lot of time researching it. Well, the idea, Giles, was to find something, that wasn't very reflective, because that was the critique of a lot of this stuff, is that it had a glossy surface to it, and of course that's just not going to work in this environment. We needed something that looked like it looked. So the bricks are...
Yeah, reflected light can be a problem, can't it, off some of these things? But,
yeah, I mean, look at the glasses. Yeah, it's always fighting with
yeah. Yeah, I'm just getting to the stage where I have to wear glasses, and fortunately I can see well enough this evening not to actually have to wear them. But there's a lot of comments in the chat about you and Sandy laying bricks, which must be quite painful, really.
No, what I said was Sandy and I installed this wall. Although I think on Wednesday's show I did say that we laid the bricks, but really it was just a matter of clipping it into the ceiling. Okay, I'm going to try out. Let's see if I don't know that it's going to work. Yeah, it's not going to work. I don't have the joystick hooked up, but I do want to. Let's go to the main shot here, and I want to show anybody that's interested. That's where it clicks in right there, and we didn't do anything except just use what we call here in the States a binder clip to clip it to our green screen. And so, there it is.
That's what I love.
Yeah, it's not anything high tech.
Simple and old technology.
Right. And the idea was that we could use this as a set for our studio as time went on. It's 10 feet wide, and so it actually extends a lot more to this side, just based on where I'm set up in the room, than it does to this other side. And it's 10 feet from floor to ceiling, and you can't see it, but there's another foot of material that extends onto the floor. So conceivably you could make it act like it was a real set. Yeah, that's the idea. We'll see. The trick now is when you get more than one, how do you switch them out? So we may have to set up a green screen area at one place, and then a brick wall area in some place, and then a third set somewhere else. Clint wants to know where I found it. Clint, I found it on Amazon, and I'll see if I can't pull out a link for you here in just a minute. And if Giles has something to say that takes a long time to say, I'll while he's talking, I'll look at that and see.
Sorry, there's a bit of lag, but I was just going to say, in a lot of studios they would put the green and the blue and the black and the white backdrops just on a kind of a curtain rail so they can move them in and out as they need. But with that one you want it flat, don't you? So that's a bit more tricky. But maybe you could put curtain rails that hang the green in front of that one,
and then just move the green.
Then you could make it
in front of it.
Just pull the green over it. Yeah, maybe that would work. Mind you, the green wants to be quite evenly lit, doesn't it? So tricky one, that one.
Yes, and keeping in mind the cost of the curtain rails versus the cost of the binder clips. The binder clips cost me $1.50. The curtain rail is going to cost about 100 times that much to get a decent one. I hear
where you're coming from.
So it's just like, okay, got the pressure to do it right versus to do it in a way that the budget doesn't take a hit.
Well, right is only if it works, isn't it? It's only right if it works.
Yeah.
So if it works with the binder clips, then you got it. That's the professional way to do it.
We'll see. Hold on. You keep talking. I'm going to see if I can find this link for Clint.
There are lots of good backdrops. Somebody made a comment, I think it was Michael Graves, greetings Michael, made a comment about if you're not using a green screen, of course you don't have the keying problems if you've got a real physical backdrop. vMix is superb at keying onto green screens, which is the best keyer I've come across in a while. But if you don't get the lighting reasonably close to what you need, then it can lead to the fuzzy green edges and fuzzy backgrounds and things like that. And you can normally tell if somebody's using a green screen. Somebody was commenting that my curtains behind me are a green screen, and they're absolutely right. But it's not a bad key, I think you would agree. You can't see too much green around the edges here.
It's an amazing key, and I want a picture of that image, because I'd like to try that too here. I mean, just it's unique. It's eclectic.
Yeah, it's old caravan curtains.
Well, and Rudy says that you can put up different curtains. You can just use simple curtain rings. And Kenny says, Tom, you do have 4 walls. And that's true. That could be 4 sets, and you just put all your cameras and stuff in the center, and then just pivot the desks or chairs or couches or whatever around. I put a link in chat to this specific brick wall. For those of you that are interested, I think it was $49.99 for Prime means no shipping. It is an affiliate link, so I'll get a nickel or two out of it if you buy one. But if you want that nickel or two back, just let me know and I'll send it to you. Like Twit TV. Kirk, I haven't been there, but I've talked to people that have been there, and they say it's pretty amazing. But was Twit? I thought Twit had a real brick wall. I didn't realize it was a backdrop. Interesting. Giles, Jesse's here, and Jesse was at the Streaming Idiots meetup at NAB, and he said that you mentioned vMix NDI audio handling features. Could you go into that in greater detail? Says Jesse. So, you want to give that a go?
Is that the NDI no audio meter that you're referring to, Jesse, or some other? Because we were talking about how you can link vMix Call with NDI to talk to people off the air, kind of green room people, without putting them into the live stream the other night on our show. There's all sorts you can do. The NDI is such a powerful tool, particularly for behind the scenes, and it's great as part of the main production as well, but as a behind the scenes tool, it's absolutely amazing what you can do with that and how it can benefit you. I'll just say that Martin Kay, who we were talking about in the beginning of Tom's show tonight, created a tool called the NDI No Audio Meter, and it's one of those things. Everybody's done it. Everybody's done a sort of a show where they're producing it themselves and being the presenter. I've done it too. You can go on the air and start talking, and it's like, and then people start saying, "Hang on, you've got no audio," and everybody's done it. So the idea of the no audio meter. If you go to Zen Video, I think it's Zen. Is it zen-video.co.uk? I'm sure. I think Martin's in the chat room, so maybe he'll put a link in. If you go there and go to his NDI page, you will find the NDI No Audio Meter, and the idea is that you connect it to the output of your vMix through NDI, just the audio bit, and if it goes quiet for a long time, it starts beeping at you, which is a kind of a warning that you've got no audio. And it works really, really well. There we go, zenvideo.co.uk. And he's got an NDI tools page with all sorts. Oh, there, yep, zenvideo.co.uk/ndi.html. Lots of really great tools on there. If you've not looked at NDI, do take a look at it, because it's such a useful thing.
Well, and Martin has also created an NDI video matrix. I guess you would call it would you call it a switcher or some sort of connector, but basically allows you to take video and the Skype is it's a perfect solution for Skype, because when you're doing NDI with Skype, of course you lose your NDI feed when the Skype call goes away. So even if you're talking with the same person week after week, it's not like a vMix call input that's always there. But by using this intermediary, which Martin was talking about on Facebook the other day, I think the NDI video router. Thank you, Martin. That's exactly. And you basically just leave an empty space on the video router that hooks up to a vMix input, NDI input, and so you can build everything you need to over here, all the lower thirds and all the connections and all the shortcuts, and then all you have to do is plug in the Skype on this end and you're good to go, instead of having to, oh yeah, it's a great solution. I can't wait to demonstrate it. I can't wait to try it. Yeah, Martin's a whiz kid.
Yeah, Martin's created some great tools. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Maybe we'll get him to talk about that during Streamfest, because he's going to be down, and we're hoping to talk about some various production toys, as I call them, tools of the trade. So hopefully, maybe we'll get onto that. If somebody asks about it, I'm sure.
Is Martin going to be an exhibitor at IBC? Does he have a booth there? An
I don't
NDI
know.
tools booth?
Sure he will tell us. I was hoping to get to IBC this year, but unfortunately I'm not going to. But Rudy, who is one of our World of Live Streaming crew, and the School of Live Streaming, is actually going to be there. So yeah, if you're going to IBC, you get to meet Rudy. I think Martin is going. Martin Kay, that is.
That's what I understand.
But just watching the chat here. Mm.
Well, and Giles, I know it's an awful lot to ask, but I'm hoping that you and some of your crew can one day make it to Las Vegas in April for NAB. Martin Kay went this past year, and it was such a treat to meet him. But to hear him talk about that, through his filter, what he thought was important, what was going on, was just absolutely stellar. And then, of course, to be able to hang out with all you guys at the Streaming Idiots meetup would be that much more the best. I tell you what, if you come, I will buy you a lemonade. There's an offer that just, is hard to pass up. Hard to
Sorry,
pass
you
up.
dropped out then. I'd love. No, honestly, you did. I would love to come along, and I hope we will be able to come and join you, because the Streaming Idiots Hangout is the place to be if you're into live streaming. Let's be honest about this.
In real life, yeah, no doubt about it. And Martin S., I will buy you all the lemonade you can drink. Come on, that's what I'm paying for, is lemonade.
That's what it was.
Yeah, no, and that's one of the challenges that we're facing. The same kind of challenge that you're facing with Streamfest, which is, I had this idea, it was a lot of fun, and now I've created this monster that's going to demand more of me every year. The third annual meetup at NAB is like, last year we were planning on 75 and we got 100. This next year, I guess we plan on 150 and we get 200. It's going to be a bigger event. Well, I know a way that you can pay your way, Giles. If you guys will dress up as Vegas showgirls and come to the streaming event, the meetup, I'll pay your ticket over. Maybe. See you and Martin and Rudy dressed up as showgirls. The ones with the big plumes and the little bikini tops and the little bikini bottoms with the feathers coming out.
Well, I've probably got the moves for it.
Oh my goodness. That would be too funny. People would pay to come see that. That would be great. Oh, Marie wants to know, is the offer valid for all of us? No, Marie, Jan wouldn't let you wear the Vegas showgirl outfit. That wouldn't be fair. We would definitely have people showing up just for that. But yes, it's valid. I will buy you all the lemonade you can drink. Martin S. says he'd even shave his legs. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I may
You
have
would
created
too.
a monster here. It's like when Martin Sinclair said, what was it? He said, it was 2 years ago. He said, if somebody comes to the NAB vMix booth in a banana costume, then I'll I'll give them a vMix Pro license. And Dave Edwards shows up in a banana costume. I mean, that was great. I don't think he showed up during the Streaming Idiots show that we had that Wednesday, but he showed up the day before. Oh, golly.
Yeah, he joined you on your show, didn't he? But I think
Yeah.
he saved you from the banana costume.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he said he was going to go home and burn that. But I think we saw a glimpse of it
Save
on
Save
Monday.
it. Yeah.
Could get another vMix Pro license, Dave.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think Martin's going to make that statement again. Although, he did say that this past year. He just didn't get widely quoted on it. I think I'd have to go back and check my records. Anyway.
It'd be hilarious, wouldn't it, in NAB if 100 people turned up
50
wearing
people. I know.
banana
That's right.
costumes.
That's right.
That
Oh,
would be
God.
worthy of a photograph.
Oh, golly, yes. It's funny.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe when you do your if you do your show on a Wednesday, as you normally do, maybe, people should turn up in honor of you and vMix wearing banana costumes.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Actually, this past year, we were not able to use the vMix booth for the live show because they weren't set up for streaming at all. And so the PTC Optics folks were very kind and invited me to come do. And actually, they interrupted their regular scheduling of live streaming to host the Streaming Idiots show. So that was a blast. In fact, we even made it on the front page of the New Tech blog video for that show. So you just never know where that stuff's going to end up. That was a lot of fun. All right, so let's see. Do we have any other legitimate questions in there? Nothing about showgirls or other. Rudy says internet at IBC is way overpriced, and I think that's everybody that's been to any trade show and has had to buy internet would agree. What were they telling me at NAB? That it was like $250 a day or something outrageous like that, and I don't even remember what the speed was, but it was so if you're there for 5 days, it's over $1,000 US. What's that? That's like $9 in euros or something, isn't it?
Well, $1,000. It usually gets converted into pounds, and it's usually £1,000 if you buy stuff from, what's $100 to you is £100 to us here in the UK, and I think it probably applies in Europe as well. That they don't bother to do the conversion. It's just whatever it is in dollars, we'll just scrub the dollar sign out and put a pound sign in front.
Yeah. Okay, Dan says that he thinks Dave should loan Marie his banana suit for her next roller derby contest. Martin has some legitimate comment here. Martin K says that the NDI routing adds no latency to the video signal, so it could be useful for iMac. Ooh, I like that idea.
That's interesting, yeah.
That is very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, shout out to Jan, who's joined us, and to Henry, who has joined us. Kurt, we already shouted out to. Martin Stuckey is here. Jesse, we've already mentioned. Welcome. Texas Mike is here. Let's see. Rod's here, and then there are a bunch of folks that are here that are not in chat. And we know you're missing out. You're missing out. You can come to Eastern Shore Broadcasting right now. We're in the post show, and you could get in on the chat. But more than anything else, we want you to know about, not about that, that's okay too, but we want you to know about StreamFest Live, which is coming up this weekend, this Saturday, starting early in the morning here in the U.S. and ending Saturday night about 9 or 10 o'clock. Yours truly will be ending up the show. I think I'm the last gig on this show, aren't I, Giles?
Yeah, I believe you're 9 till 10 Eastern time. Let me just have a quick check on that, but I'm sure that's right. 9 till 10 Eastern time, which is 2 in the morning to 3 in the morning here in the UK.
Wow. Wow. Well, it's a good thing that Dave's not doing the 9 o'clock show, because that would be, 6 o'clock his time. And so if he had to wait till 9, that would be another 3 hours, which would be 5 o'clock in the morning for you. If you go 24 hours, Giles, you're just going to have to take a week off afterwards to recover. That's amazing.
I think you're right, but that's the long-term aim, really. And I mean, this year we're doing. I'm not actually counted how many hours it is this year, but it starts. Let's go back to the beginning here. 10 a.m. UK time and finishes 3 a.m. So it's quite a long.
17 hours.
14 hours or so. 17 hours. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And originally we planned the schedule so that we could go right through till 10 a.m. the next day, and we got pretty close, really, when you think about it. But it would be great if we, if everybody wants to do this again in 2019, if we could actually do a full 24 hours and hand it off around the world 4 or 5 times, 6 times even. It would be just amazing to do. Even if we only ever do it once, it would just be amazing to do it. So if
you'll only do it once.
Good ideas. Probably. Well, and I think also as live streaming technology kind of takes off, then there'll be probably less need to do it. But right now, I think it's a good thing to do. And, maybe it's got a couple more years in it. Maybe it'll go on for longer. I don't know. But we'll just see it. It depends on everybody, doesn't it? So it's not about me.
And there can be other iterations of it too, which means that you could break it up into a 2-day and do a Saturday, Sunday, and not make it at times that were inconvenient for you. You could have it take place in 8 hours, but have multiple channels. And so at any point in time, there might be 4 different live streams going on that would be concurrent. And they would be like if you go to a conference and there are different tracks. And so track A is for this, track B is for this, and you could do the same thing with the live stream and take a 24-hour and cram it into 6 hours with 4 tracks. I don't know if the math works out like that, but anyway, yeah, 6.
Absolutely, you could, for sure. The only thing about doing it 24 hours is that it's inclusive globally. But we've not had a lot of interest from sort of Australia or around that part of the world. Yeah. So, but maybe next year we will. And it'd be great to include all those people. I mean, it's meant to be inclusive, and we want to make contact with as many people as we can for everybody. Not just. We're obviously interested in making contacts ourselves, but it's for everybody. We're not just doing this for us. It's in fact that's the last reason we're doing it. It's about trying to grow the community and to enable people to make contact with each other and to share ideas.
And if you're late joining us and you're wondering who in the world I was posting on the internet, yes, it was Giles. And this was Giles at his 12th birthday. So there we go.
Yeah, I do quite like the bow tie. That does look good.
Oh my goodness! Oh my god, that is really a good look. I don't guess we'll ever see it, but it's a really good look, and you looked like you were having a great day that day too. Yeah.
Was it a wedding? I have a feeling it was a wedding.
Let's see.
I forget what's on there now, but yes. I think if it's the wedding, I think it was. I said to the photographer, make sure I've got a drink in my hand if you ever take a picture of me. And I only said it for a laugh, but he actually did achieve it. Yes, there we go. That's Alice standing next to me in the red dress. And her sister, Anne, who was marrying James. And that's a few years ago. I think we were here then. Yeah, it must be about 8 to 10 years ago, I suppose. Yeah, it was a good wedding, and the photographer managed to make sure that I had a drink in my hand every time he took my picture. All
right. Well, okay. Streamfest this weekend. Don't miss it. You'll get to see Giles, and you'll get to see Kenny, and you'll get to see Dave, and you'll get to see Rudy, and you'll get to see Martin, and you'll get to see Dan, and you'll get to see who else is on the list that I might have overlooked. Well, if I've overlooked you, my apologies. But pop in. And Miranda. Yes, of course. Don't want to forget about Miranda. I mean, she's the brains behind that outfit.
Gavin Gratian.
And Gavin, yes. And Merle. Okay,
Cliff
good.
Sobel. Yeah. Merle as well. Kenny.
And Cliff. Oh, yeah. You guys want to turn in for Cliff. Cliff is something else.
Martin Kay.
Yeah.
Jim Jacobs.
Jim Jacobs and Scott
Michael
Pienta.
Wilson.
There you go.
Mike Benke.
Yep. Oh, yeah. All the superstars
Chris Morton.
are going to be there.
Oh, absolutely. And the major superstar of them all. This is the one. You know, the red carpet job is Tommy Willis.
And Tommy Willis, yes.
Oh, and there's some guy
indeed.
called Tom Sinclair as well.
Yeah, you know, they're like, okay, where can we put him where nobody will be watching? Why don't we stick him at 2:00 in the morning? That would be like the Woodstock Festival here. Yeah, the Woodstock Festival here when they were playing at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and everybody thought back then that you were being snubbed, but as it turned out, if you were on stage for that event, you were instantly a star. Okay. Well, Giles, let's wrap this sucker up because it's like 12 o'clock midnight for you, and it's pushing 9 o'clock in the evening for me, and I'm time zone challenged. So actually, it's only a little after 3 here, so that means it's a little after 9 there.
It's a little after 9 here. Yeah.
Kurt, the schedule you can find at streamfestlive.com, right down there, and all your favorite characters will be there. Yep, there you go. Dan and Rudy have both put a URL in chat, which is streamfestlive.com/agenda. AGENDA. Agenda. Yeah, it has no D in it.
And a big shout out to Rudy as well for all his efforts on the website.
Oh, yeah.
Rudy's worked really, really hard. It's a lot of hours, especially keeping up with all my changes in the agenda. So kudos to Rudy. Thank you, Rudy.
Yes, indeed. Well done, Rudy. All right, folks. Sayonara. We're gonna drop the stream. Giles, hang out for just a second. We're gonna let this run out, and we'll catch you this weekend.